of the title of my last video, it's probably going to attract, and it did attract, people that normally don't watch my channel. It probably came up in certain feeds because of the names and Twitter. Trent Reznor and Jack White leave Twitter. So I've had a few people come to the comment section and say certain things. I figured that would happen. Um, Again, I'm not really interested in debating people. That rarely goes anywhere. And there's a lot of brainwashing involved in different political beliefs. Brainwashing from the time you're a child. Maybe your parents voted a certain way. Maybe you watch a certain channel all the time, and that's all you got in your head, and you've lost your grip on reality. That's true in a lot of cases, and it's true in this case. This is the last time I'm going to do this because I don't do this anymore. I don't get sucked into this trap of debating people that live in fantasy land. It's not worth anyone's time. And before I start, the new governor of Arizona, declined to debate a woman named Kari Lake, who was also running for governor of Arizona. Kari Lake lost. Why did the new governor of Arizona decline to debate Kari Lake? Because Kari Lake's crazy. She's a grifter in the image of Donald Trump. Say anything, lie about anything for money, fame, and power. That's the grifter mentality. So again, the new governor of Arizona, or the one that won the election, never even debated her opponent. I applaud that decision. I think more people should make that decision. More Democrats should make that decision. Don't debate these crazy people. It's not worth it. It's a waste of time. And it only gives a platform to Fantasyland, to grifters like Kari Lake. Straight, pure grifter that will lie about anything. Kari Lake in the past has talked utter shit on Donald Trump. Now she's in love with Donald Trump. That just tells you how quick people can turn on a dime when there's something in it for them. Kari Lake's an excellent example of that. Now, so I got this person that came to the channel. They wrote this long ass broken up comment. I only read the first sentence. I still haven't read it yet. I'm going to read it now, and I'm going to go point by point and give my thoughts on what they're saying. They completely disagree with what I said in my last video, which is fine. There are many cult members out there. I expect that type of response. There are also trolls. Whenever you mention Elon Musk, Donald Trump, you get trolls that will come because there's paid trolls, there's bots, there's all kinds of things. So you never know what or who you're talking to. But anyway, let's start. So the person saw my last video, came in the comment section. I'm not going to say their name. They started off with, "You're 100% wrong." And whenever someone starts a comment like that, when they just say, "You're wrong," I assume they will give me no evidence whatsoever of why I'm wrong, or any evidence whatsoever of any of their talking points. It's usually vagaries and bullshit. So let's see what type of response. Let's see if we got any evidence-based type responses here. "You're 100% wrong about everything. Everything. I'm not right about anything. First of all, China and Russia love Puppet Joe in office," and love puppet is in all caps. That's always a sign of sanity and a firm grip on reality, right? All caps. So let's address that. China and Russia love Puppet Joe. Well, let's start with China. Ivanka Trump got, I don't know, a couple hundred patents in China while Trump was in office. Trump has a bank account in China. He has businesses in China. So that's not true. As far as Trump tried to take on China in the tariff arena, he got absolutely no concessions from China whatsoever. And the only end result was Americans paid more for products In other words, it became a tax on Americans. Farmers lost their farms. Farmers committed suicide. Many farmers voted against Trump because of that in the next election. So it didn't work out. So even though Trump tried to present a tough facade against China, he was really doing business with China the whole time, and so was his daughter. So no, he wasn't really tough on China. And I didn't even mention China in my last video, so I don't even know why I'm discussing it now. Now, for Russia, Trump has been Putin's bitch since day one. Anyone with a grip on reality knows that. And I didn't see Joe Biden, before he got elected, when he was running for office, say, Russia, if you're listening, help me out against my opponent. Help me win the election. What did Trump actually say before he was elected? He said, Russia, if you're listening, can you find the Hillary emails, the remaining emails, blah, 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 blah. Did you know, people, that on Hillary's servers, there was not one classified email? Not one. There was one questionable email that said return to some office or something. It was marked that way. So despite all the Alex Jones lies and Fox News lies and 4chan lies and all that, there were no classified anything on Hillary's servers. And Hillary was in office at the time when all this was going on. So, yeah, Trump flat out asked another country, Russia specifically, to help him win an election, to help him dig up some dirt on his opponent to win an election. He also did that with Ukraine. He tried to extort Ukraine and asked Ukraine to dig up some dirt on Joe Biden in the next election to help him win an election. So that's two foreign countries that Trump asked literally for help from. Joe Biden did not ask any foreign country for help on national television. After Trump fired the director of the FBI during his first term, his only term, he had Sergei Lavrov and other Russian diplomats and Henry Kissinger in his office the next day for a meeting, and no one knows what was said in those meetings. So, and that's just a few examples. But yeah, when you have one guy asking Russia for help before he even gets elected, which is totally illegal, by the way, it doesn't matter if it's on national television. That's meaningless. That's just committing a crime out in the open. That's colluding or conspiring with a foreign government on national fucking TV for the whole world to see. That happened. It's illegal. And right after Trump did that, Russia hacked a bunch of servers. There's also a report called the Mueller report. Mueller was a Republican, by the way. James Comey, the FBI director that got fired, was a Republican, by the way, who threw Trump a big favor and investigated Hillary Clinton's emails right before the election. That probably did a lot of damage to Hillary's reputation. Not probably, it did. So that Republican, James Comey, got fired. And in the next day, again, Trump had Russian diplomats in the Oval Office for a private meeting. Joe didn't do any of these things. So I don't understand where the China and Russia love Joe stuff comes from. There's a saying, every accusation is a confession, or every accusation is a projection. That's projection. Trump was Russia's bitch. Everyone knows it. And in the Mueller report, it explains how the Russian GRU, hackers, bots, the Russian cyber military was trying to help Donald Trump get elected the first time. It was obvious. Everyone knows about it. There's a report you can read. Just read it. And again, and that report was compiled by a Republican, not a Democrat, not an evil lefty, not a leftist, a Republican, Bob Mueller. So again, this is a pure projection. The first sentence, and this is what I told the person, your first sentence, you seem to live in fantasy land. Your first sentence is the exact opposite is true, so I don't need to read the rest. So again, you're hearing this for the first time, and I'm reading this for the first time. I only got one sentence in, and I knew this person lived in fantasy land and was just projecting. So one more time, Donald Trump, when he ran for office before he was even elected, Russia, if you're listening, on national fucking television. So where does someone get off saying Joe Biden is Russia's bitch? That's not true. Russia wanted Trump. They wanted Trump the first time. They wanted Trump the second time. They didn't get Trump the second time. Many reasons why. So that's that first sentence right there. The first point they try and make is absolute falsehood. That's not reality. The opposite is reality. Russia loves Donald. MAGA loves Russia. There are MAGA people that wear t-shirts that say, I'd rather be Russian than a Democrat. Mitch McConnell got millions of dollars from a Russian oligarch for an aluminum plant that was never built in Kentucky. The Russians give money to Republicans, the MAGA cult, and Republicans. They don't give money to Democrats. Democrats aren't even allowed in the country right now of Russia. They're banned. So this person, again, is not living in reality. They're living in brainwashed fantasy land, or they're a troll, trolling for a specific reason or for money. I don't know. So they helped your old wet sock puppet get in office. Talk about old. Let's talk about old for a minute. Let's compare Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Joe Biden has a stutter. Sometimes he fucks up his words, and Joe Biden is old. But yeah, Trump's old too. Trump wears diapers, for fuck's sake. So who's really old? Trump can't even walk down a ramp. Joe Biden can ride a bike. Joe Biden, when you look at the man, he's in shape. Donald Trump is not. He's an obese, fat fucking slob who can barely walk, who can barely drink a glass of water. He could never get on a bicycle. He's disgusting. And if Biden has dementia, so does Donald. How many fuck-ups verbally have we seen Donald make? The oranges of the report. Yosemite. Inject disinfectants. Can we bring the UV light in the body? He's a moron. And he wears diapers. That's verified by a guy who worked with him on the TV show, The Apprentice. He shits his pants. That's how old Donald is. And like I said, Joe can ride a bike. Joe don't wear diapers. You can tell by the suits he wears. He's not wearing a diaper. Donald, you can obviously see, is wearing a girdle, a diaper, and lifts in his shoes. So Donald has fucked up his words, fucked up Sharpied weather maps, done ridiculous things. He's a 5-year-old that was born rich. That's it. That's why people envy him or look up to him or whatever. Because he was born fucking, he has more money than they do. That makes him a success in life. Anyway, so old wax sock puppet, Trump ain't doing no better than Biden in the mental department, the physical department. He's worse than Biden in the physical department. A lot of times in the mental department as well. Anyway, no, China and Russia did not help Joe Biden get in office. Joe Biden didn't need any help from foreign countries to get in office. That's the difference. And there's literal proof that Russia helped Trump get in office. Literal proof. Anyway, that's why they are calling the shots now. No, Russia is not calling the shots. Millions of dollars from the United States is going to Ukraine. Ukraine is defeating Russia in the war right now. Because of those millions of dollars from the United States. Do you think Putin likes that? No, he doesn't. That's Joe Biden. Joe Biden wants that stuff to happen. I only see Republicans in the Senate and Congress saying, no more money to Ukraine. That's because they're Russia's bitch. The Republican Party is Russia's bitch. It's that simple. And anyone that lives in reality knows this. The NRA had a Russian spy involved in it. I mean, it's just limitless examples of how Russia owns the Republican Party. Yet they say they try and project that onto the Democrats in government. It's ridiculous. The Democrats are always the ones saying we want to give more money to Ukraine so they can win the fucking war. It's ridiculous. Pure projection. And Biden is being ass fucked. Wow, really? Really? I don't even know what to say to that one. You say Kanye and Brady because they are Trump supporters. No, I say Kanye and Brady because they got millions of dollars in PPP loans that they did not need. They are rich men, filthy fucking rich. And you're defending them. They got some of your tax money, millions of dollars of it. I think Kanye got like 3 million. I think Brady got like a couple million. They don't need the money. You should be asking yourself, well, why couldn't I get some money from the government? Why are they giving it to millionaires? That's what you should be asking. And it's mostly friends of Donald. Associates, because again, he doesn't have any friends. Associates in Congress and in the Senate and out there in the world that got these millions of dollars in PPP loans. So again, you've got a guy, I'm sure, that's not rich, or a girl. I can tell by their writing they're not rich, defending Kanye and Brady getting their tax money. Again, kicking themselves in the dick or the ass. I don't get it. But again, as long as it's got an R on it, they're fine. I don't know why anybody would defend Kanye and Brady getting millions of dollars of taxpayer money. That doesn't matter. Whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent, jerk off, whatever you are, why would you defend that? They don't need the money. The poor need the money. The middle class needs the money. Not Kanye and fucking Brady or Ted Cruz or whoever the fuck. They don't need the money. Or Matt Gaetz or Marge Green. They don't need the money. You need the money. And that's what you should be thinking. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm not a Democrat, Independent, Republican. Nothing. I just look at reality and I ask myself this question. Why are millionaires getting PPP loans that they never have to pay back? And those same millionaires will fight someone in college getting $10,000 off their college debt. Like, that's an evil socialist plan. But wait, why wasn't it evil and socialist when Kanye and Brady got millions of taxpayer money and never had to pay it back? Why isn't that evil? About 99% of these rich corporations are liberal today. That is absolutely not true. Abso-fucking-lutely not true. That 99% of corporations are liberal. Bullshit. There's plenty of corporations that donate to the Republican Party. Home Depot, Chick-fil-A, all kinds of corporations that donate to the Republican Party. You know why? Because the Republican Party will get rich people tax cuts. Rich people, aka corporations. That's why they're donating to the Republican Party. They could give a fuck about America. They just want the tax cuts. That's all. That's simple. So this 99% of rich corporations are liberal is, that again, it's just wrong, abject bullshit. Oh, and that's in all caps, by the way. You say what has been being said from the left for years and years. Tax cuts for the rich. It goes both ways, dude. There is only one political party. The Republicans in office are just as evil as the left. Well, it sounds like all you've done so far is defend the Republicans. Now they're all of a sudden saying the Republicans in office are just as evil as the left. Look, I don't know who's good or evil. I do know this. There's a pattern in government over years. Sorry, lost connection. There's a pattern in government for years. Conservatives say they're fiscally responsible. They don't want to spend money, blah, 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 blah. That's usually when a Democrat is president. Here's the pattern. When conservatives come into office, the first thing they do is give tax cuts to the rich people. Happens every time. They run up the deficit while they're in power. Then when the Democrat comes into office, he's got to deal with that deficit. And they usually try and do their best. It's a pattern you'll see. And you'll also see this pattern. The economy always performs better under a Democratic president. Look at the numbers. Don't take my word for it. Don't take this person's word for it. Look at the numbers. There was a surplus under Bill Clinton. George Bush squandered that, pissed that away. Obama had to come in and deal with the recession, the end of it. He started paying down the deficit. Then when the next president took office, Trump, he ran it up again. Now Joe Biden is paying down the deficit again. It's the same pattern over and over. And what happened when Trump took office? He gave a tax cut to the rich, a small tax cut to everybody else. But what happened at the end of his term, they rigged this tax bill. When Trump's term was over, all of a sudden taxes would go up on the middle class and the poor again. Not the rich, though. Joe Biden has said many times he wants to raise taxes on corporations and rich people. Do you think it's ever going to happen? No, probably not. Because corporations and rich people have too much power. And Biden doesn't have a majority in Congress anymore. He's barely going to have a majority in the Senate. But rich people are always fine with getting tax cuts. Rich people are always fine with people like Kanye West and Tom Brady getting millions of your taxpayer dollars, or them getting millions of your taxpayer dollars. So it goes both ways, they're saying. Here's the thing, though. Reality, when I look at reality and look what Democrats do when they have the presidency and what Republicans do when they have the presidency, I don't see Democrats giving tax cuts to rich people. I see conservatives giving tax cuts to rich people. I see Democrats trying to manage the budget. I see conservatives running it up. I see the economy performing better under Democrats. If you look at statistics, not opinion, and not as good under Republicans. And again, I'm nothing. I belong to no party. I'm just acknowledging reality. When you look at the numbers, that's what you see. Let's continue. Republicans in office are just as evil as left, yet he's defending Republicans the whole time. You're mad because he let Trump back on. You'd get along great with my neighbor. Let's stop there. He's talking about Elon Musk letting Trump back on Twitter. No, that's not what I'm mad about. What I'm mad about is that Trump literally incited an insurrection. He sent a mob to storm the Capitol to overturn an election so he could be the dictator of America. That is against everything in the Constitution. That's against everything that America stands for. That is literally trying to overthrow the government. That's what happened. And all the suckers that did that for him because they worshiped him, they're all going to jail. All the low-level idiots that stormed the Capitol, the rubes, the cult members, the dumbasses, one of them got killed. The rest of them are going to jail. Donald's golden orange down in Mar-a-Lago, still rich, still not going to jail. All you dumbasses that did his bidding are going to fucking jail. How does that make you feel? Do you feel stupid? Because you should. Is he bailing any of your asses out of jail? No. He's not. He's keeping all the money he's grifted off of you people and the people that are still sending him money. And he's still golden orange, and your ass is serving a prison sentence. And you should be serving a prison sentence. If I storm the fucking Capitol of the United States, I expect my ass to get arrested and go to jail. Because that's illegal. You're trying to overthrow the fucking government. That's not good. That's not okay. That's a jail sentence. In service of an orange grifter, so he can be dictator of the United States and not respect, not acknowledge, not abide an election that took place. That's how it works in America. We don't have dictators here. We have elections, and the person that wins goes to the White House. And if the person that's already in the White House doesn't win, he has to fucking leave. You don't send a mob to storm the Capitol so you can stay in office and be dictator of the United fucking States. That's why I'm mad. Plus the espionage at the end of the term and a million things during his term. He stole classified documents. Let's flip the script. If Joe Biden, after he's out of office, is found to have hundreds of classified fucking documents in his house with folders that literally say classified on them, I bet you'd want Joe Biden's ass to go to jail, right? You'd call him a traitor and you'd call it treason. You'd call it espionage, right? And you'd be right to call it that. That's also what Donald did. He committed fucking espionage. That motherfucker has been selling state secrets since day fucking one, and then stole state secrets after he left to continue to sell to people. That's some serious. CIA agents and assets have died over this. Serious shit, man. There ain't much more serious shit than that except trying to overthrow the government, which he already did that before he left office. That's why I'm mad. That's why he doesn't deserve to be on a platform spouting his lies, inciting more violence. It has nothing to do with free speech. Free speech is when the government comes down on you for your speech. A private platform like YouTube or Twitter, free speech has no role there. They have rules. You violate them, you get thrown the fuck off. That's how simple it is. They are the arbiters of who gets to be on their platform or not. And I've been thrown off platforms. It's not a good feeling. I've had videos taken down. It happens to people. And there ain't shit you can do about it. That free speech, again, that's for the government coming down on you. A private company does not have to let you say anything you fucking want or incite violence or spread hate. That's not how it works. That's why I'm mad. And as far as Elon, I didn't like Elon before he let Trump back on for many reasons, which I won't go into yet. Let's continue. You'd get along great with my neighbor. I don't give a fuck about your neighbor. Middle-aged white liberal male who has been horribly brainwashed by the liberal media. You're okay with the spokesman for the Taliban on Twitter, but you have a problem with the orange person. Who the fuck is this spokesman for the Taliban? The fuck is this person talking about? Yeah, well, I just explained why I have a problem with the orange person, so I'm not going to go back into that. I don't know who the spokesman for the Taliban is. Man, I'd say I would love to debate you, but you sound just as dumb as Joy Behar and Whoopi. You'd do great on The View. You'd fit right in. First of all, I don't want to debate anyone. You're lucky I'm even doing this, and I'm never going to do it again. Because it's a waste of my fucking time. I'm only doing this for pure entertainment purposes for my audience. One last time. I'm never doing it again. And so, again, I have no interest in debating anyone, especially someone. Again, I said this in the beginning. Debating people that live in fantasy land is, you might as well bang your head against the wall. I'm not the one who's brainwashed. That's the thing. I acknowledge reality. This person is not acknowledging reality. They live in fucking fantasy land, unfortunately. So crazy, you are blinded. All you can think about is how racist and fascist Trump is, which could not be further from the truth. First of all, he's very racist, and I won't go into the details of why I say that because it's just not worth it. Fascist, let's check that word out. I just said a minute ago, he incited a mob to storm the Capitol. Of course, his bitch ass was nice and safe while they all did the dirty work. To try and overturn an election, hang the vice president, so he could be dictator of America. He lost the election. You got to leave when you lose. That's simple. So for this person who lives in Fantasyland to say that, which could not be further, that calling Trump a fascist could not be further from the truth. What else would a fascist do but try and overturn the government and become dictator of America? Not only is he a fascist, or he tried to be dictator of this country and null and void a legitimate election. He also stole state secrets and stored them at his shitty golf club, in his desk, classified documents that could get people killed, state secrets of the United States. So he's also a traitor, a spy, and has committed espionage. We saw the pictures of the documents at his place. Indisputable, undeniable fact. Again, if that was Joe Biden with all those documents, they'd want to hang his ass. We all know this. Of course they would. It wouldn't be okay then. And here's the difference between me and this person and all the MAGA cult members that are going to come to this video, this last video I've done, and say things. If Joe Biden, before he got elected, say, Russia, if you're listening, help me win this election by digging up some dirt on my opponent. If Joe Biden would have said that, I'd have a fucking problem with that. That's some traitor type shit. That's some conspiracy type shit with a foreign government to win an election. I'd have a big fucking problem with that if Joe Biden did that. If Joe Biden was grifting every 3 seconds, having security staff stay at his own hotels, having foreign dignitaries stay at his own hotels, charging them exorbitant fees, trying to have the G7 at Trump Doral or at his own golf club. If Joe Biden was doing those things, I'd have a big fucking problem with that. And I wouldn't be like, oh, well, he's a Democrat, so it's cool. No. If Joe Biden stole a bunch of classified fucking documents and the FBI raided his fucking house and took pictures of them, I would not be okay with that. Whether he's a Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever, that's not how I roll. That's how this person rolls, obviously. It's all good as long as an R is next to the person's name. I don't roll like that. I don't like traitors. That's dangerous for all of us. That's dangerous for our entire fucking country. People die as a result. So yeah, regardless of whether it would be a Democrat doing it or a Republican, these things I speak of, trying to overthrow the government. If Joe Biden loses the next election, okay, and he incites a mob to go storm the Capitol to try and hang the vice president and overturn the election results, I'm going to have a big problem with that. I don't care if he has a D next to his name. That's not how I roll. Just because you have a D next to your name doesn't make anything you do okay. That's the problem with these people that write comments like this. Our neighbors, people in this country, we have to share this country with these types of people. As long as an R is next to it, it's cool. Overthrowing the government is cool if Donald with an R next to his name is doing it. Asking Russia for help and conspiring with Russia is cool as long as the guy has an R next to his name. Stealing classified documents is cool unless a guy has if a guy has an R next to his name. I don't roll that way. I don't care what the person has next to their name. I don't want to see none of that shit being done by a president. Let's continue. So Trump is a racist and a fascist. Fine people on both sides. Remember that comment? That's a very racist comment. When people are walking down the street with tiki torches saying Jews will not replace us, and you're president of the United States and you get in front of the whole world and you say, there's fine people on both sides. No. And that's just one example. There are many, many more. He is a racist. He is a fascist. And just the statement that he's not a racist and a fascist is just not connected to reality in any way whatsoever. You can't debate people like this. They live in fantasy land. So I'm not blinded by anything. You say people look at Trump as a racist and a fascist, but I just listed all the ways, or many ways, he is a racist and a fascist. What do you call someone who tries to overthrow the United States government because they lost an election? That would be someone trying to usher in fascism. That's what fascism is. Dictatorship. That's what he was literally doing. So I'm sorry, you're just not connected to reality in any way. Turn off Rachel Maddow, dude. Wrong again. I don't watch Rachel Maddow. I don't need to. I watched what Orange Boy did during his 4 years, what he did, what he said, what he tweeted. Rachel Maddow didn't have nothing to do with no insurrection on 1/6. Trump and his people did. Why do you think Trump fired a bunch of people in high military posts after he lost the election and installed other people for this coup attempt? That's why. There were many other people involved in this, high-level fucking people. It would have never gotten as far as it did otherwise. So turn off Rachel Maddow. I don't watch Rachel Maddow. So since you're going to assume I watch Rachel Maddow, I'll assume you watch Fox News and you're on 4chan, and that's where you get your information from. You're spitting out nonsense. Again, there's not one fact. Did you notice that? There's not one fact or anything to back anything this person's saying up. They just make a bunch of statements, but there's no fact to it. There's no back up. There's no examples. It's just, you're wrong. That's it. You're wrong. Talking about their neighbor and different nothing. I gave you examples and facts to back up what I'm fucking saying. That's the difference. And again, I knew the second the person started off their comment with, you're 100% wrong, I knew I would get no facts, no reasons, no nothing. Just a bunch of vagaries and statements against what I'm saying that don't have any factual basis. So I'm spitting out nonsense. But whatever viewers you have are left. No, that's not true either. So they do not realize the garbage you're spewing, dude. No, a lot of my viewers, this isn't even a subject I normally talk about. A lot of my viewers aren't left, and I'm pissing a lot of them off right now. And I've pissed a lot of them off in the past, and they don't watch me anymore because they're not left. A lot of them are right. A lot of them are MAGA. Unfortunately. So yeah, all my viewers aren't left. That's also wrong. It's one party and then Trump. You hate that name, don't you? Donald J. Trump. No, it's not one party and then Trump. It's two parties. And Trump was a Democrat. He switched affiliations, I believe, 5 times in his life, back and forth from Democrat to Republican. And he realized after the Obama presidency, this is my chance. I'll grift as an R because it's easier. And he was right. He made billions off these fools. And he doesn't give a fuck about one of them. So thinking Donald Trump is some type of outside entity, that he's not a politician. Trump's been running for president since the 80s. Because it's the ultimate grift. He could do anything, and he did. So yeah, Trump's just another politician grifter. He's not special, he's not unique, he's not different. He's the worst con man grifter of all. He made the politicians look honest. Actually, straight up grifter. Worst con man, grifter, half-ass mobster I've ever fucking seen. No better than any politician. Maybe even worse. At least the politicians weren't trying to overthrow the government when they lost an election. Unreal, your boy Puppet Joe is the one eliminating jobs. Geesh, like I said, go on The View. Okay, well, that was a very long comment. Didn't have one fact in it. Joe Biden doesn't run companies. First of all, he's not eliminating anything. Companies since I don't know late 60s, early 70s have been moving to China and laying off people. That's corporations making those decisions. And it gets worse and worse every year. And no one politician is to blame for it. It's a trend that's been going on for a long fucking time. So Joe isn't eliminating shit. I know Joe's trying to bring some jobs back, actually. But that's never going to happen. We're never going to get all the jobs back from China, Indonesia, Mexico, because corporations don't want to pay benefits. They don't want workers to have rights. And unfortunately, the American public made a decision back in the early 70s to not just buy American. If they would have made a decision back then, the American public as a unit would have made a decision, say, hey, we're not buying nothing but American. So if you make your shit overseas, we ain't buying it. Americans didn't do that. Americans say, oh, I like the cheap products at Kmart. I like the cheap products at Walmart. The American public made that decision. And it gave all the scumbag corporate CEOs what they wanted. It rewarded them for moving the jobs to China and Indonesia and Mexico, etc. That's not one politician's fault. That's not Joe Biden's fault. That's not Donald Trump's fault. That's not any one politician's fault. People that run corporations make that decision to ship their jobs overseas. Greed. That's America, baby. Land of greed. And they're not going to be happy till, there's not a job left and no one can afford to buy their shitty products. That's when they'll finally maybe wake up and say, oh, yeah, we got to pay better wages and we got to actually give people jobs and not automate everything and not send every job over to China and India. Maybe then they'll finally wake up when no one can afford to buy their shitty products anymore. I don't know. But my point is, this person didn't put one fact down. Nothing. Nothing to back up what they're saying. They just want to disagree with me because Trump's the savior. All these people that think Trump's the savior, take a second mortgage out on your house and give him the money. Since he's the savior. Don't you think he's so great? Again, us people in New Jersey and New York, we knew he was a con man, liar, fraud, whiny little bitch before he ran for office. It's a shame the rest of the country couldn't see that. But here's what it comes down to again. Trump put an R next to his name and grifted on that. When you do that, you get 45 to 50% of the country to be on your side immediately. And they don't care about his past. And they don't care that he's a billionaire from New York. The people out in Nebraska and fucking Texas. And he's got an R next to his name. And he's telling us what we want to hear. It was all a grift from day fucking one. Doesn't care about Republican ideas, Democratic ideas. Doesn't care what party he belongs to. Cares about the grift. Cares about Rube sending him money. And he laughs all the way to the fucking bank. And here's a question I have. Why does anyone send a billionaire money when someone brags that they're a billionaire like Trump does all the time? Why the fuck would you give him 1 penny of your money? Let him fund his own fucking campaign. And again, you don't see Joe Biden bragging everything. I'm a billionaire. I'm rich as fuck. You don't see Biden doing shit like that. That's the difference between the two men as well. And Biden's not a billionaire. That always baffles me when a guy's out there bragging how much money he has every 5 seconds. And shitting in gold toilets. Why would anyone middle class poor send him a fucking dollar? Because they're a rube. They're getting conned. They're the mark. That's simple. But again, the difference between me and this person, one difference is I gave facts and reasons why I say what I say and think what I think. I didn't just say, you're wrong. You're 100% wrong. You're like my neighbor. You should go on Fox News on Sean Hannity. You're just wrong. That's meaningless. You got to have some facts to back your shit up. And unfortunately, this will be a waste of my time with that specific person. This person won't change their mind on anything. They won't care about any of the facts I've given them. They'll just keep that mentality that Trump's some fucking savior different than all those other politicians out there. That's not remotely true. He's a grifter, con man, liar, spy, committed espionage, tried to overthrow the fucking government, asked foreign governments for help winning elections twice, got caught twice. It's a never-ending crime spree with that motherfucker. I've never seen an entity like that. Elon's catching up to his heels, though. I call Elon Trump light. Just like him. Born rich, never built anything in his life. Took credit for everything everybody else is doing. Bought into certain companies with his daddy's money. Didn't do shit in his life. Just born rich. Must be nice, right? Anyway, I hope everyone has a great day.